Hello everybody, it's time for a new devlog. We have a lot of cool stuff to show off, and with the chemistry and equipment update right around the corner, we wanted everybody to see where we're at and show off some things, because the last time we did so was a few months ago, and boy howdy has this update taken some time, but it is because we are doing so much, and there's really no way to do it piecemeal. So if you watched my previous one, or if you didn't, my name is Ryan. I am the one of the people working on Fish Game. I have Unreal Engine open every day, making new things. I do almost all the programming and lots of the design and art direction. Though everybody touches everything. We are a team and happy to be a team, but I am the person who can claim sole responsibility for making all of the bugs in the game. So if you have encountered one, it is my fault. I'm so sorry. So I am not a YouTuber. This is not an entertainment product, though I hope to be entertaining, and boy do I ramble. So I have notes, but I will see if I can stick to them and keep this as to the point as possible, not to waste your time. But I'm so excited about all these things, and I would like to share them. So let's get right into it. The first thing you can see that maybe is new is the equipment sitting in our tank here. And actually, this tank's getting kind of grody as I've been sitting here starting and stopping the record button over and over. So why don't we take a look at the chemistry panel to figure out what's wrong, and then we can fix it with the equipment. And I'll use that to talk about some of the new things. So the last time I showed a developer-focused version of this, but we've prettied it up a bit, made it easier for people to navigate and learn the systems by themselves. And by the way, I treat this panel as totally optional. If you are not interested in chemistry, that's fine. Just know there's stuff going on under the hood. The equipment will largely take care of it. And if even that's not enough for you, we have settings to set your own level of engagement with the chemistry system. But for the purposes of this thing, let's say you want to get nitty-gritty into the weeds on what's going on in the water and managing it. So what we're looking at right here actually is a pretty good start. There are lots of different things to look at, different presets, but the core parameters are things that most people are going to want to see right away, especially newer people. And looking at this, we can see the algae is starting to grow. It is being fed by something. Let's see. Look at the nitrogen cycle. Oh, look at that. Nitrates. Yeah, okay. So they're probably, it's been long enough it's gone away, but probably at some point some ammonia turned into nitrites, which has turned into nitrates and is now sitting here. And the beneficial bacteria here is working on it. There looks like there was a die-off on the bacteria 1, 2, 3.5 days ago in the game, but it's now starving, probably because it ate through all of the ammonia and nitrites, and the beneficial bacteria does not eat nitrates, so it will eventually accumulate. But plants do, and algae is a plant. So now we have, yeah, look at that. About 3 days ago, the algae started to take off, and now we have some green water. Now, there are a number of ways to deal with this, but the most obvious way is that we don't have the filter running right now. So why don't we just turn that on and start mechanically cleaning out the water. Now, filters are mostly houses for bacteria and a delivery system to get the nutrients into the the sponges and whatever the filter media that's in here to let the bacteria change the stuff in the water forward in the nitrogen cycle, and it inevitably gets to nitrates. But it also can mechanically grab floating particulates, and in this case we're saying that algae is floating in the water. That's why it's green. Now in the real world it tends to grow on stuff, and we have that too, but the stuff that's turning the water green is floating stuff, and that is pulling it out. Actually, we'll turn it way up, and then take a look at our graph. You can see the arrow is starting to point down, so it is being taken out of the water, and as we leave it running, we'll see that going down more, and I'll give it a chance to do that. While it's working, we can see the new fluid system operating here, the flow field, as I like to call it. So you can see vortexes, and this is a real fluid sim. There's a lot of tricks being pulled under the surface to make it run in an optimized way, but it pushes stuff around in the water. Fish that like water motion will be happy in it, and those that don't will be unhappy, and they'll move into it or away from it as needed. And you'll see the ones that really like it, they'll love river style tanks where you have a strong jet pushing to the side. They'll point into the direction of the flow, and obviously it affects all the bubbles and the dust that might form in the water. This is a kind of filtration that is very turbulent, but there are other ways of doing that. We also have sponge filters. Let's add a medium sponge filter. And these ones also have the benefit of increasing surface agitation because they use a bubbler to slowly draw water in through the sponge and then up out the top. It's just how they work. And so they have less of a current. Like if you were in a small tank and you had a betta that struggled in the high water flow and you just pumped water through, then it may not go well for the long-finned betta that swims slowly. But something like a sponge filter is more gentle and is a better fit for those. And the fish will tell you. They'll tell you if they're unhappy, and then you can fix it with your equipment choices. This one also does is increases surface agitation. So and it's for the reason that you might put a bubbler in a tank. If there's low oxygen, you agitate the water surface and it raises, well, it'll raise the oxygen if the oxygen was too low, and it brings it back into equilibrium with the air. So actually, let me take this and do a developer thing. We'll drag it down. Let's say the fish were breathing real hard. And we can see here that oxygen is affected by the temperature and the surface agitation, how many animals and how many plants are in the water. And if we leave this over time, this higher surface agitation will bring the oxygen back up to where it belongs. So if you have a bunch of fish and the oxygen's low, you can add a bubbler, you can add a sponge filter, which is also a bubbler, obviously, and the oxygen will come back up and be at equilibrium. And like I said before, the plants and animals will tell you what they need better than they used to. So, oh, actually, let me turn that back off. Let's say that. Nah, I should use a fish. This one is now the flow probably isn't too high in here because there's a lot of extra space, but there is more than it likes, so it's feeling like it's too rough. And if we click on it, it will help us by going to the chemistry panel and showing the way that the flow has changed over time. And it can help you make better decisions about what's going on in here. Okay. I could ramble endlessly, but that kind of gives you the idea. There's a lot going on, and all of them you can do something with the equipment controls to navigate the situation with your fish and your plants and the water to find a sweet spot where everybody's happy. So, okay. That's a very broad version of the equipment. There are all kinds of things here to make it easier to manage your tanks without needing to micromanage your tanks. So next, I'm just going to rapid fire through some of the things that are really great improvements, I think. I just want to tell people about them. So you might have seen here, we have game speed changes now. So if you felt like the game was too frantic before, I totally hear you. I agree. So there's a slow down option. There's finally more to moving things around than the old system. We also have a gizmo now, which some of you will be familiar with from things like 3D modeling or CAD programs, or I don't know, even like games that, well, like this, games that give you options to build. They frequently have these because most of our tools use these sorts of things. And if you were tired of the way that rotation worked before, I'm with you. It took a while, but here we are. We finally have it. And you might see that sometimes it didn't go where you wanted it to go. Now we have undo it. It took its time, but now undo is in the game. So sorry for the wait. So, gizmo. We also have, oh, yes, we have chemically active substrates. So you can finally, let's say you want this kind of soil. And let's see, it brings your KH down. This is just an aquarium soil. They tend to do that. But you don't want that to be on the top. So you can put a cap on it, and actually, we'll go look at the chemistry graph. Boy, so rambly today, so sorry. On the KH graph, you'll see now the aquarium soil is dragging the KH down, and over time it'll drift down. Let's see. Oh yeah, why don't we go back to looking at this? So we've left the filter running, and you'll see the algae has gone down, and oxygen's gone up from all our bubbler activity. So we've essentially fixed our algae situation, and nope, the CO2 isn't enough. The bubbler is agitating it right out of the water. So there's a balancing act going on here, and that, while I'm talking, I'm not doing a great job of balancing. But you can see that the stuff we've added and the settings we put them on is affecting the graph in pretty significant ways. Oh yeah, back to the substrate. So we've got things that bring the KH up, things that bring the KH down, and all of these are free. I know we've had substrate DLCs before, and we will have more. It gives us more runway for making the game. It's a great way for people to support us, and they've been asking for it, so we're going to keep doing it when we're asked for it. But these ones are free because we needed more ways to be able to control KH, and the frequent way people do that is by adding different kinds of substrate, including plain old sand, or shells, or the aquarium, what did they call it? aquarium soil. And then along with all of this extra stuff, we have more behavior from the fish that interacts with the tank. So when a fish, actually, let's make a terrible thing happen. It's now way too cold. Yeah, temperature's bad. It's cold. It does not like how cold it is. I don't know about where you are. Where I am, it's quite cold. And I noticed one day that my fish was huddling by the heater, which was a great sign to turn it up. So, you know, we recognized that that was an important thing to add. So, situations where the tank is not quite where the fish wants it to be, you'll start seeing that behavior come out in the fish. You know, this isn't just a numbers game. It's about making these little animals happy. And so obviously they need to have ways that they interact with it. And then last couple of things, I think we've got a lot of optimizations that are being put into the game, so it should run better than it used to. The UI is just getting constant improvements, quality of life things, like listing the things inside of a tank when you're not there, getting more into the tooltip so it's easier to see stuff you couldn't see before, middle click and double click, and these tips in between levels, all kinds of stuff that is just waiting to be delivered out. It might look quite done, and it definitely is quite done, but I am working furiously to get the last pieces together so we have a beta branch that is available. If you come to our Discord, you're welcome to play it. It's very stable. And our wonderful Superfins beta testers have been hammering away at it for a couple months now. It's making it very stable. And I'm basically responding to feedback until there's no more, hey, why doesn't this work? Or I don't understand this thing sort of comment left. There was a whole side quest spent on trying to make pH more understandable. So we have a graph to try and show this better in the tooltip. There's a demo here to help you find a balancing act between the things and better ways of seeing it by moving fake numbers around so you can see what the result's going to be. So all kinds of stuff here. And the point is so that when you interact with it, it will feel seamless and easy. And a lot of work has gone into that, and we're so proud of it. We don't want to rush it. So if you want to come on over to the Discord and give the beta a try, you're absolutely welcome to. We would love to have you there. But in the meantime, thank you for your time and attention. I so appreciate it. We are so looking forward to launching this and getting it into everyone's hands. And in the meantime, it's great to have you all around. You're such wonderful players. There's nothing quite like making a game about loving little creatures because it invites all the loveliest people together. So thank you very much, and talk to you soon.